And man, co-main event time. If you're an MMA fan, you're not excited for this fight. I gotta check your pulse, man, because what more could you want? I mean, the best are back to fighting the best. We got Merab Dvalishvili taking on Umar Nurmagomedov, and on top of just the matchup being incredibly high level, there's some heat on the fight too. So you got the best of both worlds, man. I mean, Merab Dvalishvili has his back against the wall here. He's kind of been pushing a corner a little bit. He probably feels like everyone is against him. He's gotten pressured by the fan base. UFC brass take this fight earlier than he wanted, and he feels Umar Nurmagomedov got to cut the line because of politics. And whatever you think of Umar's skill set, it is true that that happened. Merab had to beat three former world champions, win 10 fights in a row before getting a title shot. Umar has had six UFC fights. He only has one ranked win. He's getting the same opportunity, but you can say Umar is 18-0. So it's the best fight the UFC can make from a skill perspective, and I'm glad they made it. I'm definitely excited to see it. So, man, I mean, style wise, everyone knows Merab at this point, but he's improved quite a bit. His last fight, he showed patience. I don't think many fans, pundits believed he had. He was able to avoid almost all of Sean O'Malley's dangerous attacks. He was still pressuring, implementing his game plan. And he's a short, compact guy. He's in constant motion. He's has fast feet. He can move in and out of range well, changes levels really effectively. He's feigning, faking, keeping fighters off balance. He has good spin kicks, low kicks. His jab isn't terrible. He'll try to land the counter check hooks with his lead hand too. Big overhands. He's good at disguising the overhand behind a level change feint or vice versa. You also get wild. You'll throw spinning kicks, jumping attacks. He isn't normally the most effective with those strikes, but we did see him knock out Rafael Stotts with the spinning back fist back in the day. In this fight, he needs to push the pace in the stand-up. He needs to cut the cage off, force exchanges. At distance, he needs to throw a lot of leg kicks and try to stay defensively as responsible as he can. And his chin is amazing. I mean, he's been hurt, but his conditioning makes him super difficult to knock out. No one's been able to do it yet. He does cut a lot of weight, so his weight cuts are not easy. And you did see in the fifth round, O'Malley did attack the body, which he didn't do much throughout the fight. And he may have laid a blueprint for Umar because he hurt him to the body multiple times. And that front kick, Merab did not like it at all. So going to the body on Merab is something I would do if I'm Umar Nurmagomedov. But I think Merab does have a chance to land over the top here, though. Umar does pull back with his chin high quite often. And if Merab throws combinations, is aggressive, he has a chance to land himself, I feel. But wrestling is what everyone knows Merab for, though. He has an incredibly explosive single, double leg, ton of different finishes he goes to. And if he can get it on the legs, he's just super strong. He's been able to demoralize fighters, slam them, just ragdoll them around. His clinch takedowns are also on point. He has no weaknesses really in the offensive wrestling department. His last fight, he was more patient. He was good with setting the takedowns up, shooting at smart times even. So that was even another improvement. And on top of Merab is more of a mauler. He just tries to use that top pressure, short elbows, punches, rough you up. When you work to stand up, he'll ride you. He'll throw knees to the legs, body. And he has to be a little bit smarter of keeping his hands up off the brakes in this fight. He had some issues with that in previous fights. And he's been attempting guillotines more in recent fights, been looking a little bit more effective in that front headlock position. So that's another thing that he's been getting a little bit better with. And we've seen short moments of other fighters taking Merab down or Merab, just ending up on his back for whatever reason. Henry Cejudo, Cody Stamen were both able to control Merab for at least over a minute on top, but no one has really been able to take Merab's back or put him in a bad position on the ground. In this fight, maybe Umar could put Merab in those spots. So Merab just has to be alert that takedowns may come, so he needs to be ready to not let that happen because Umar is going to try to get rest off the takedowns if he's going for him. And Umar Nurmagomedov, he's a new breed fighter, extremely well-rounded. He actually started off striking first, and you could tell he's a sniper on the feet. He moves extremely well. He switches stances, good at pot-shotting you from distance, amazing kicks to all parts of the body. I think this fight he needs to throw a lot of leg kicks, body kicks, and then eventually go up to the head when Merab starts to try to catch the kicks and maybe they're affecting him to the body. And I think Merab's going to be trying to time takedowns, overhands on the kicks of Nurmagomedov. So Umar just has to set them up well, But Nurmagomedov has super sharp hands too. He'll sting fires with counter punches. A lot of times he's kind of a one punch, maybe two punch at a time guy, but he has power clearly because fighters respect him on the feet. And I think part of that is obviously due to the takedown threat also, but his footwork, his pot shotting ability, his ability to control distance is really good. His last fight with Corey Sandhagen kind of poker faced it, but I think he got really tired. He didn't throw nearly as much offense after the second round and let Nurmagomedov settle into a point fighting pace where Nurmagomedov was able to beat Corey Sandhagen in a point fighting striking fight, which is obviously very impressive. But early on, Sandhagen was having some success with leg kicks, but he went away from that. I think Merab needs to look to duplicate that, but keep on the leg kicks. And Umar has been knocked down a couple of times with the overhands. He's a tendency to kind of lean back to evade shots. So if I'm Merab, I'm going to try to attack the body with straight punches and time takedowns off that pullback. And then eventually when Nurmagomedov tries to make up for that, go over the top and land an overhand, try to drop him. But Nurmagomedov also hasn't really face guys that have been willing to mix it up and strike off failed takedowns. So Merab needs to shoot that attack right away, try to break Umar's rhythm, just needs to stay moving and going forward. And for Nurmagomedov, he has to pull Merab into power shots, attack the body, get Merab hesitant and close the distance. And once he has Merab hesitating, then he can just win at range with his pressure and kicks. And Umar has amazing timing on his singles. He uses the single to take the back really well. He has a really good scrambling ability, wrestling cardio. His submission game is better than Merab's, but I think if he hits takedowns, it's more to mix it up here than really control or finish. Corey Sandhagen, he was able to get back up like almost 10 times against Nurmagomedov, so I feel Merab probably could do the same. Nurmagomedov has never had a fighter attempt a ton of takedowns on him or force him to wrestle defensively. Obviously, in practice, I'm sure he's been dragged through the ringer, but we've never seen it in a real fight. Nurmagomedov didn't slow down at all, though, in a high-paced 5-round to Sandhagen, but there was no really wrestling attempts from Sandhagen in that fight, and Nurmagomedov didn't end up on bottom at all. This fight, I think is just amazing. I think that the line is disrespectful to Merab. Umar's striking is way prettier than Merab's, but Merab's striking is effective. On the feet, I think it's going to come down to who can control the range. If Merab can eat shots and walk through them, get inside, make it ugly, I kind of favor him there on the inside, close, dirty boxing range. I think he's more tested. He's been forged to the fire more. He's a little bit bigger and more durable, and he needs to be high volume. Like I said, go to the legs, go to the body, wrestle hard. And if he tries to change it up and not wrestle here, I think he's pretty dead in the water. He has to off-balance Umar, get him thinking about throwing kicks, by catching the kicks, using them to create a takedown scramble. And we haven't really seen Umar, how he's going to react to getting bullied in there by a superior wrestler. For Umar, it's all about timing, though, keeping the distance, being patient, sharp, mobile. If he could pull Merab into big shots, make him hesitant, make him kind of emotional even, then I feel like he could maybe mix in some takedowns and control Merab on top and break him. But I honestly see this as a closer to maybe like 55-45 towards Umar than where the odds are at now. I don't really know how Nurmagomedov can warrant that kind of respect when you look at the guys' resumes. And I think Merab's going to come out here and surprised a lot of people, and I think it's going to be a really close competitive fight that could go either way, and I'm going to say the champ retains his belt, wins in a big upset, and Merab Dvalishvili is and still here. Merab Dvalishvili via decision.